Well, if it isn't my favorite local witch hunter. Although, word around the village is that there's a fantastic new blacksmith apprentice. I might need to come up with a new nickname for you. Took you long enough to come back and see me. Dare I say I've been missing that face. Sounds like Jasper has been putting you to good work down at the forge, keeping you busy. I really am happy to see you again, Hunter. But do tell me, what brings you out into my neck of the woods on this fine evening? Did you get another bounty for my head? You just wanted to see me. Well, aren't you just darling? And your timing couldn't be more perfect. Care to take a walk with me? I have some things that I need to do and would appreciate the company. Wonderful. Let me just grab my cloak from the house and we can head out. Ah, I see you've met one of my familiars. Hunter. This is Salem. He is one of my familiars. Yes, one of them. I have a handful that live in the woods with me. They tend to come and go as necessary. I don't keep as tight of a leash on my familiars as some other witches might choose to. Salem here helps patrol the borders of my protective wards. He's agile and he blends in with the forest floor, especially at night, being a black cat and all. Oh no, he's not going to be accompanying us tonight. He just came home to make his report and get some well-deserved rest since you and I will be taking care of things in his usual territory. Speaking of, we'd better get going. Don't want to be out here all night, you know, in case something happens. So tell me, how have you been adjusting to your new life in the village? I must admit, when I heard that you'd decided to stick around and become the blacksmith apprentice, I was a little surprised. Most of the witch hunters that I've encountered were keen to stay witch hunters. Our encounter last month made you rethink the witch hunter gig? Huh. I'm honestly a little flattered that I had such a strong impact on you. And I'm glad to hear that you've been adjusting well and getting settled in. I'm sure that the girls around the village have all been fawning over you. It's not very often that a handsome new face like yours appears around here, much less one that sticks around. Tell me, who's the biggest flirt in town? My money is on Claudia. She was always such a flirt, even with me when I first started becoming a part of village life. You caught that, didn't you? Yes, I do think you have a handsome face. You really shouldn't be surprised by that, though. I'm sure you've heard it plenty from the other girls in the village since you decided to stick around. Just accept the compliment, okay? No need to be shy about it. Although that blush dusting your cheeks is rather cute, if I do say so. What are we doing out here anyways? That's right, I didn't really explain to you what we were doing out here. Remember the last time we spoke, how I said that part of the reason I'm sort of welcome in the village is because I offer them protection? Yes, a few of my protective wards are starting to weaken, and I need to go reinforce them. That's what Salem came to tell me. I was planning on checking them myself anyways, but he came home to make sure I knew. Why not reinforce them during the day? Well, truth be told, my magic is significantly stronger at night, in the presence of the moon. And since it's full moon tonight, my magic is practically at its peak. And I'll be able to reinforce all of the wards that need it without overextending my magical powers. Think of it like an amplifier. I obviously can do magic during the day and on nights when there is no moon in the sky. but the light of the moon amplifies the power and the depth of my magic. When it's full, so am I. No, not every witch's magic works the same way that mine does. I've met very few others whose magic works even similarly to mine. I've met a handful of witches whose magic is fueled by the sun, some whose magic is fueled by the tides. I even met some witches whose magic didn't have or need an amplifier. A witch's magic is as unique as the witch herself. No two witches have the same exact type of magic. You're right, I did say that the forest was dangerous at night. For someone who doesn't know it well enough. Luckily for the both of us, I can navigate this place practically with my eyes closed. I know the sounds of the forest like I know my own voice. And with the full moon fueling me, I don't run the same risk of exhausting my magic if on the off chance that something that goes bump in the night does make its way past my wards. That doesn't mean there is no risk to us being out here, just that it's minimal right now. How do I reinforce the wards? That part is actually pretty simple. All I have to do is focus a bit of my magical energy into each symbol on each ward. And when they glow bright blue, I know their power has peaked. And then I can move on to the next one. Perfect timing, actually. Here, I'll show you firsthand how it's done. This is what each ward looks like. Honestly, they're kind of unimpressive if you don't know what you're looking at. They really just look like a circle of fancy rocks with weird symbols carved into them. But to another witch, the symbols mean something special. It's a good thing we're out here doing this tonight. This one is practically drained of magic. I'll sit in the middle of the circle and focus on dividing my energy into the symbols. One by one they'll light up, and when the last one is bright blue, the ward will be as good as new. There. How many of these do I need to fix tonight? Based on what Salem reported, I'll only need to reinforce 3 more tonight. The rest are stable for now. How many do I have? I think in total I have 20 or so scattered throughout the forest. They're able to cover an impressive territory, but the forest is rather large. No, I've never had to reinforce all of them in one night. They wane in power depending on how often they're being activated. Some areas of the forest are bigger targets for devious magical creatures, so I have to recharge those wards more often than the others. Speaking of, we better get a move on. I don't necessarily want to stay out here all night, and it's a bit of a trek from the final ward back to the cottage, and even further to the village. Hey, once we're all done out here, would you like to come back for a cup of tea? That way we can properly catch up, sipping on a nice hot cup of tea, enjoying the warmth of the fireplace. All right, yes, you caught me. I am inviting you to stay the night again. Oddly enough, I missed having the presence of another person staying with me in my little cottage. And that's something I'd never thought I'd say. I've always been kind of a loner, even among my fellow witches, preferring my own company and the company of my familiars. But I find myself often thinking about you and your company. Good. I'll be glad to have your company for the night again. Now come on. Let's get this all wrapped up so we can properly enjoy the rest of this night.